Welcome to Sam's Russian Adventures. I'm Sam, an English guy living in provincial Russia, and in today's video I'm going to talk about why it is that newcomers to Russia are scared to criticize Russia in any way, scared to show the processes that they go through to do things. What's it all about? Let's talk. It's an amazing day today. The sun's not out, but it's just nice and quiet and it's beautiful here. Quite fancy going for a walk down here, but I'm wearing my new dad shoes, so I don't think it's a good idea. So I've lived in Russia for 20 years, over 20 years, but something over the last 6 months has dramatically changed the whole landscape of living in Russia and people living in Russia, and the type of people that are moving to Russia has completely changed, like a massive shift. When I came here 20 years ago, really the only foreigners that were here were either on a work visa living in Moscow and St. Petersburg, or they were here as students. That was it. And so foreigners would come here, they would work or study, and then they would leave. And then now, of course, we've got a completely different type of foreigner, which is coming here as a resident to Russia. Something that wasn't available before, like literally it was really difficult to get. I became a resident after 10 years of living here. And so it was something that was pretty much unheard of. And us as foreigners that were coming to Russia and wanted to stay here, it was almost a rite of passage to go through all the difficulties surrounded by coming to Russia as a foreigner and trying to make your life here, trying to stay here, trying to get the right documents you needed, going through all the processes. Russia wasn't set up at all for foreigners who really wanted to come here and make it home. It was never like that. The immigration center and all the places you would need to go to get documents, well, the attitude towards foreigners was pretty much like, you need us, you're here because you want to live in Russia, not because we need you, and so we're not going to make it easy for you. In fact, you're going to have problems and it's going to be difficult, and if you're prepared to go through that, then well done, you can stay. And that was kind of the attitude you felt that was kind of given to you as a foreigner. But you wanted to get through that, and it was stress and it was difficult to do things. But you wanted to work your way through that because it was like a rite of passage. You know, all the foreigners would get together and say, oh, you know, what are you doing today? I've got to go there to the immigration, I've got to go do this. And I'm like, oh wow, feel sorry for you, I know what that's like, I know how difficult it can be. But we were determined to get through all those difficulties because we loved Russia, we loved life in Russia. And so going through those difficult processes was just part of the kind of almost having to prove yourself, to prove that you were somebody that wanted to live here. Because once you go through all the difficulties of the kind of immigration process, or difficulties of different documents that you would need, then you got the ability to live in Russia. And that is why you would do it, because you loved Russia. And so you were prepared to go through all the stress and all the problems for the ability to then walk out of immigration with your documents and say, yes, now I can live for another year until I've got to go do all of this stuff again, right? And so in the past, you know, we didn't have things like the Gosselslugi and things like that, which is like the online government portal that you can do everything through now. When we went to immigration, there was no windows and no tickets that you took and you waited your turn. It was completely different. In fact, to learn what documents you needed for a particular process, you would go to the centre, whether that be the tax office, the immigration, the police station, whatever, and you would find on the wall the statement written in Russian as to what you need to do and the documents that were required, basically, right? And then also, you would also always have to like ask for permission. It's called a заявление. And so the template would be like a example of a letter that you need to write to the person in charge who's going to allow you to apply for something. So you'd search the walls of the office and you would find this like template, and the template would say the person's name, the address, the date. It would say, for example, like Ivanov, and then it would say, dear, not dear, but Mr. blah blah blah, please allow me to do this and to apply for this. This is the reason I want to apply for it. I would like to apply from this date to this date. This is my passport details, this is my information, etc, etc. And you would have to copy that. That would be in Russian. You'd have to copy it, but apply it to yourself, and then you'd have to take it to the office to request the ability to apply for whatever it is you wanted to apply for. Now imagine doing that when you don't speak a word of Russian. The scenery is perfect. We've got this whole new batch of people moving to Russia, right? And they're all becoming residents. And everyone's making YouTube videos, and in the videos, everything is always perfect. Always perfect. There's never any difficulties, there's never any problems. It's just like everything and every day is amazing. And it's like, come on guys, living in any new country is difficult. Ksyush, Ksyush, oh, Ksyusha. But then I speak to foreigners all the time. Foreigners that are living in Russia, and they're telling me about their frustrations, the difficulties of the processes that they go through to do things, because obviously it's a new country, they don't know how things work, they don't understand the language, and they get very, very frustrated, and they'll vent to me on the phone for like half an hour and tell me about all the difficulties. But then the videos on YouTube don't reflect this at all. On YouTube, it's always absolutely everything is amazing all the time. It's almost like a kind of like company promotional video about how the company is really good. It's just really weird. We don't need the company promotional video. We know about great things in Russia. We need your experience and feedback to show us the situations you've been in, how you overcame them. Because the chances are that a lot of the situations are not really difficult situations. It's just the fact that because you don't speak Russian and you don't know the processes, you don't know the addresses, you don't know how things work, that things are a lot more difficult than they appear. But by showing that, by going through that process and telling people on your channel how difficult and frustrating things are, that's gonna kind of make them aware of the things that they're gonna have to go through when they come here. Instead of just saying, this happened today, and this was really great, and this was really good, and everything is really amazing, and wow, everything is really great in every single video. Have a headache. Wake up ill. Tell us how you went to the hospital. Don't just say, I went to the hospital and everything was really great. How did you get there? How did you find out which hospital to go to? You know, it's not complaining. It's just telling the truth. It's just showing your life. Aww.
Новости на Дорожном радио. Здравствуйте, с вами.
I should not have chosen this road to go down.
Проспект Строителей 24, Безыменского 26.
I've just driven to a neighbouring village. It's about 2 miles from mine. I walked around here in winter. I just wanted to come and see if there's any changes, if people are living here and stuff now. So let's have a bit of a walk around and continue this video. Now, it's known in Russia that you need to go and get certificates. Russia is one of those places that you need certificates, spravki. Russians know it, foreigners know it, everyone knows it. It's just a thing you need to do. And I feel that perhaps people are scared to say that you need to do things. Is that what it is? You've come to a new country, so you just want to say that everything's amazing, right? You don't want to maybe be negative in any way. Check out that house. That is so cool, isn't it? It's looking pretty nice, isn't it? But the thing is, right, no matter where you live in the world, there's processes that you need to go through that can be frustrating. For example, I've just applied, well, quite a while ago now, I applied to have the electricity connected to my plot of land so that I can move forward with my house. And it's difficult. I spoke to one of my Russian friends and I said, come on, let's sit down together and do it, because he did it and he went through the stress of getting it all connected. And he said, look, Sam, you're going to apply, they're going to say there's something missing, there's something wrong, they're going to give you feedback and tell you to provide a document. And then you're going to do it again, and they're going to say something else is missing. And that's just the process you go through, the rite of passage to then be able to have your electricity connected to your house. And then you can build your house, right? So it's something you just have to go through. And of course, I applied and there's something missing, and they've written back to me saying something's missing. They haven't told me exactly what's missing. And so it's about contacting them and going through this process. And there's nothing wrong with sharing that, right? It's just something you have to go through. But when I watch other YouTubers, foreigners that come to Russia, they show their electricity being connected. Oh, today the electricity is connected. Right, well, what did you have to go through to get it connected? None of that is talked about. Why not? Surely that was a big thing that you went through. Surely there was a lot of stress involved, especially if you're not speaking any Russian at all. That must have been quite a process. Can you tell your viewers what you did to go through that process? Can you tell them how difficult it was, how much it cost? Why does the electricity just get connected? Surely there's a process involved. And I get it, right? The process is probably frustrating. It's frustrating for me, it's frustrating for everyone. That's just something you go through. Again, the rite of passage. But tell people about it. I don't understand why everything's kind of secret, right? Everything that's a process or difficulty is just quiet, and everything that is great is talked about. Everything's just kept secret. Why is that? Why does no one talk about real day-to-day things that we have to go through? I don't get it. Just seen this house. I really like it. Nice style. So I'm just walking around here. Love how this guy's got like a place for his security guards. And I've just seen my friend Yuri. He's walking his dog. So I thought, get out and do some dog walking with him. He's hiding his face. He probably works for some sort of Russian security services. It's funny that Russians have these amazing houses, right? But then they still have, they still have larders outside them next to their Range Rovers, right? Дима, а скажите, не боится, что какой-то камера снимает, что ты слишком быстро едешь по деревне?
Не боюсь, не боюсь. Они давно в бане смеются. Я им сказал, Вань, хочу купить Ниву Легенду.
I get the feeling that people are scared to talk about a process you go through because they worry that that's complaining. It's not complaining. It's just telling the truth. If you have to go through a certain process to do something, share the process, because everyone else is going to have to go through that process too. Check out this bad boy machine. Look at those wheels, man. This is my friend Dima's house. So I'm not going to show you the secret to opening the gate. But basically, if you get your electricity connected and you go through the stress of connecting your electricity, you can build an amazing house like this. So yes, it's annoying to go through the process, but then it's all worth it, right? Привет! Привет! Я знаю! Я знаю! Я знаю! Я знаю! Я знаю! I've come with Dima to the flower shop, and it's Dima's 30th year wedding anniversary, and he forgot. So we're going here to get some flowers. Let's see what it's like inside. Oh wow, I'll tell you what, I'm always looking for places to buy baskets because I love giving baskets when I give gifts. So perfect, I know where to come now. And I love these things. I'm coming back here to get a few of these because I love just putting them on people's bags, but when they're not watching, it's really funny just to tie them onto people's bags. That's really cool. In the Instagram age, look at all the flowers we've got here. To be fair, they've got quite a lot. I'm gonna come here. I don't usually come to this one. So I actually had an apartment in this building, but the company were a bit dodgy and they sold more apartments than they had. And luckily I sold mine before anything came of it.